Okay, so continue from where I stopped. So as soon as we drop these digital currencies, it will lose its value. So what gives cryptocurrencies the value, their intrinsic value, is the community. So the community is very, very vital to these cryptocurrencies. Remember I said that we have 18,000 cryptocurrencies right now. That means over 18,000 companies or projects that are waiting to bring you on board to give you a job. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? Am I sounding? Okay. Now, because these cryptocurrencies depend on community, depend on number of persons that use them, it means that these projects or these people that created these cryptocurrencies will need help. That means they will need help in the form of someone who is going to help them manage these people that will come in to patronize their project. That is each of these cryptocurrencies. That job role is called community manager. That means they will need someone who will help them to manage their social media handles. Because if you notice, everything is going online. You can't build a company and not have a Facebook page for it, or don't have a Twitter handle for it, or not have a LinkedIn handle for it, or not have some sort of digital presence. So if you have a digital presence for your company, it means that there is somebody that will be behind the scenes managing it and making sure that the right people are actually seeing the value that that project is sending out. So this means that these projects need social media managers. That's another job role. Now, we are in a digital age. Internet is like literally everything. Everything that you want to find out now, you just go and Google it. Just simply type into your Google and it brings up search for you. Somebody wrote those things that are online. And one of the things that helps a project, a crypto project become very visible is what? Content. So for those of you that like to write, there's a job for you there. That is content writing. Now, this project needs someone who can help them put their thoughts together and present it in a way that their audience will be able to read, digest, and understand it, and then adopt whatever it is that they're presenting. So they need a writer. Then, what if you like to draw? What if you like to paint? What if you like to design? We know how people communicate very well with design, great design, graphic designs. So they need a graphic designer. They need someone who can communicate everything they're doing in a very graphic way so that people will see that, like, even if they don't read whatever it is, they can look at the pictures and like, oh, I communicate with pictures. So they need a graphic designer. Then there are several skill sets that these projects need. So why do you need a crypto job instead of your regular jobs? The difference is clear. The dollar has a lot more advantage over our naira. If you compare recently I was checking the latest devaluation, like the latest difference between $1 and the naira comparison, and like the gap is becoming bigger, the gap is becoming larger, and I'm like, very soon it's going to be like $1 to 700 naira. So it's better for you to earn in dollars than to earn in naira, because if you're holding $1 today and it's 500 naira, tomorrow that your $1 can become 800 naira. So it's better for you to earn in this job, because this job will pay you way higher than some regular jobs will give you. It's only the crypto job space that I've seen that a writer is paid over 200,000 naira. Of course, in the crypto space, it's just like, oh, it's just barely $400, just $400. But for an average person in Nigeria, that's a lot of money. Over 200K every month is a lot of money, even for a student. And why do you also need a job? It doesn't have any. You don't need any particular. Of course, you need some sort of qualifications to get you there. But I'm going to explain what those qualifications are. Because whether you have experience or not, whether you have a CV, whether you are still in secondary school or you're an undergraduate, there's still a place for you to be able to earn from these crypto jobs. If you're following so far, just wave, so I'll just know you're following so far, so good. Am I fast? Am I too fast? Or am I clear enough? Am I clear? Can you hear my words very well? Okay, so now I've shown you that this project now needs different kind of, especially non-tech skills. These skills I've been explaining since are called non-tech skills. So what if you can code? What if you can program? What if you are into the tech side? There's a place for you to. In fact, they're the ones that used to carry the plenty money. You'll be hearing a typical tech job, tech role will be earning like $100,000 a year. If you divide $100,000 a year by 12 months, you will get the monthly salary of that tech person. And then when you look at, because I'm going to give us assignments, against tomorrow, and you send it to my mail. Because the reason why I like assignments is that it will show me that you actually heard me, or I will know where you need help, and all. You'll be able to also ask your questions and all of that. So I'm going to give you an assignment. So pay attention very, very well. So beyond, there are so many skills that, in fact, because of how much the space is even growing, more skills are coming out. Then some of you will not ask me a question, but I don't know how to write now. But I don't know what community management is. But I don't know what social media management is. I don't know how to handle social media. I don't know how to, but then, and what I always tell you is that the things that you know how to do today, you learned them somehow. You know, I don't think I've seen anybody that was born with, apart from people that were very few, that were born with probably a unique set of skills that they came out and decided displaying it. Literally everything you can do today, you learned it somehow. Okay, can you still hear me? Should I continue? Okay, literally everything that you know today, you learned them somehow. And some of them were from maybe interests, because you were interested in those things, you decided to pay attention to them and learn them. And some persons learn some things because it was very necessary that you have to learn them, maybe to pass your exams or something. So when you tell me that I don't know how to write, I don't know how to design, I don't know how to use social media, I don't know how to do this thing, you can learn them. Whatever it is that you need, anything I can pay you money. See, let me tell you something. Let me just give a bit of a history about my crypto journey. The first time I heard about crypto was in 2016. I didn't like it. It was like, what's happening? It was in the peak of MMM. That was like the highest peak of Ponzi scheme back then in Nigeria. So I didn't really believe the whole stories about it. Then 2017 came. I went to serve, do my NYSC. So I started paying attention. There was this popular app back then for crypto. Then that was Luno. Luno is still existing. So I was like, okay, let me just start paying attention. But I didn't really pay much attention. Then 2018 now came. I met a friend of mine from school, from when I was an undergraduate. And he was like, Victoria, why are you not doing crypto? I was like, see, I don't like crypto because of what? It looked like mathematics. I hated maths. I hated maths, everything inside of me. I just used to do maths because I have to pass my exams or when I was an undergraduate. So, but now, look at crypto now. They say that there's money inside, but it looks like mathematics. So, but the more he pressed, I should really pay attention to it. And I said, okay, fine, I'll pay attention to it. And truthfully, at first, it didn't really make sense. But then what you expose yourself to more often begins to make sense eventually. Especially, like I always emphasize, in all my classes, I always emphasize, when something looks too hard, use the supernatural. When something looks really, really hard, use the supernatural. Really, because at some point, that's start praying in tongues to understand some of things better. And then the understanding started coming to me. So if you're someone that is not used to, if you're someone that is not used to catching on some things like this easily, then it's time to like brain talks about them. And you see yourself start understanding these things really, really easily. So just in case you think that maybe this is, I'm saying that it's like something like German language, don't worry, you will get it eventually. Just be interested. If you have interest in something, especially the fact that it can pay you money, you have interest enough to learn what you need to learn to give you that money. So back to what I was explaining. So now, all manner of skills is very possible in this crypto space, and if they can pay you, all manner, like just think about it. Think about it. If you're someone that's very good with numbers, data, they're looking for data analysts. If you're someone that's very good with researching, you can go online and spend a lot of time getting lots of data, lots of information. There's a space for you in this crypto space. So the point is, I like to start with what can you do? What can you do? So on your paper, as with your pen, write out the things that normally you are good at. It could be writing, it could be design, it could be anything. Even if I've not mentioned it, write it down. I think that should be part of your assignment too. Because I like starting with your strengths. That thing that you are good at will now venture into what can you now learn and blend with what you know how to do. But then what if you say that you don't know how to do anything? I usually don't believe that. There's some things that come easily to you that everybody used to like praise you about. You're very good at this, even if it is like hard skills. I know that most of the things that we're talking about are soft skills, things you do online. But even if it is hard skills, somehow they can be translated into something that you can adopt easily online. So I've introduced you now, so far so good, to the crypto job, like what it looks like. You can also put down your questions too, if you have any questions so far. So what do you, okay, let me make a list. Let me give you a list. So let me give you a list of the kind of jobs you can see in this space. Let me give you a list. One of them is content writing. We have social media management. We have community management. We have community management. We have research. We have data analysis. We have graphic design. We have what we call, some of you are very good with, I think some persons that are techie, they're very good with designing websites that are user-friendly. Because one of the challenges of these crypto spaces is there's a huge gap between the user and the actual tech. There's a huge gap between the user and the actual tech. So we need people who can design apps that people can easily use. So there's a space for learning that kind of skill, designing apps, designing websites that people can easily use. We have, there are other skills, but then there are skills that you can just easily, that are always in demand, especially in the non-tech area. And one of them is community manager. Literally, in one project, they can have as many community managers as possible, especially when they want to penetrate into a particular region. Remember, most of these jobs are remote. What I mean by remote is you can do it from the comfort of your home. That doesn't mean that maybe the official company they are working from. It's possible that they have an office and they have office that they're working. Can you hear me now? If you can hear me, raise up your hand. All right, okay, you're still with me. Okay, so what was I saying? What was last
tech jobs?
Sorry?
Community management.
Okay, yes. Community management is one of the jobs that are always in demand. Like, there's no time you go to job sites that you won't see a particular job looking for community manager. Another one is content writing. Another one is social media manager. Like, these non-tech jobs are like always in demand. Of course, the other ones are also always in demand are the tech jobs, really. But how do you start? Where do you now start from? First of all, you start by learning the basics of crypto. If you don't know why crypto is here and you can't trace crypto to the now, it might be hard for you to actually grasp your job role at the moment, because being a content writer in the crypto space is different from being a content writer in the real estate industry. Now, let me tell you something. In 20, I think it was 2018, after I'd finished my NYSC, I started helping my brother's friend started outsourcing some content to me, and it was based on this thing, casino games. So casino games, writing casino content for casino games was very different from writing content for real estate. Because later in the year, I started writing content for real estate. Why? Because you have to be familiar with the terms. So before you start even writing anything for any industry, you have to understand, okay, what is this industry about? So you have to understand what is crypto about. That's why I try to give you a basic definition of crypto. And the fact that crypto is here to solve some of the money problems that we have in the world, and the fact that it's not centralized and doesn't really have a direct control of the government. Of course, governments are trying to impact it however they want to, but it's still a decentralized kind of money. So you need basic understanding of what crypto is and why is crypto here. So from there, you'll be able to now get yourself up to this moment. Between 2009, when Bitcoin became a real thing, January 2009, up until this moment, we've had different seasons in the crypto space. Can you still hear me? Okay. Pause briefly. So we've had different seasons in the crypto space. We've moved from as of last year, one of the major buzz last year was what we called, we had this play to earn games that you can play to make money, was literally introduced. That the buzz started ended of last year. We had introduction of NFT. And then the year before last year, we had what we call DeFi, decentralized finance. Now, this is, I'm calling now, might not make sense to you, but it's fine. It's a gradual stuff. What I'm trying to say is that we have had different seasons in this crypto space. And the best way, it might take a lot of time to catch up on the years in between. But after you've understood the basics, the next thing to do is to ask the question, what are the areas that the crypto is focused on right now that you can learn? Because if you're a writer, but you are still stuck in the trend, the 2020 trend, you might not get a job in 2022. Why? Because these companies are looking for someone who can write a content about what is happening now. And the only way, now, see, I'm not discouraging you. I'm just encouraging you to, it's time to start paying attention to, start reading and start paying attention to information. Because as a writer, first and foremost, because I don't know how many of you, let me ask first, how many of you like to write? Okay, it's quite a number of you, okay? So what makes you a good writer is Also, one of the things that make you a good writer is how much information that you consume. Without information, you can't really write much, because you are informed by the plenty things that you've exposed yourself to. It's just like someone who wants to teach. If you want to teach people now, maybe teach in a meeting, you need to go back and study for you to be able to have content to give out. That's the same thing for writing. You need to be exposed to a kind of content to be able to write around it. So your question now is, what era are we in now in crypto? And I'm going to tell you, we are in Web3. In fact, the jobs, it's very easy now to get jobs around Web 3.0. And Web 3 is decentralized internet. We are getting to a point whereby the internet, will soon shift to a new, not completely new internet, but things will be a bit different than So we are in Web 3 now. We are in gaming time, like what we call gamify. That is play to earn. Games that you can play to make money. We're in the era of digital art. That is NFT. We're in the era of DAO. That's DAO. That is decentralized autonomous organizations. That is decentralized governance. That is the era we are in now in the crypto space. So if you're going to get any job in the crypto space, you need to pick one of these areas and start reading about them. That is after you've read about what is crypto, after you've gotten the basics. So because over time, you can now catch up on what happened before 2022 or what happened before 2021. But you need to read about Web3. Like I tell people, if you want to make money, you should be able to put in the work. And one of the work is you have to read. You have to read, you have to catch up on what is going on. So, and this information are readily available online. They're just really readily available. And there are so many videos that can, shed light on these things. You can watch the videos, you can read about them. You can also ask questions. You can ask questions, like maybe there'll be a chance during this class for you to ask any of your questions. Anything that's confusing. And note that you can't, it's possible for you to get this thing at once. But if you keep exposing yourself to them, it becomes easier. And I really believe that Jennifer might share her story to you guys, because it will help you relate with where she was and where she is right now. So, so as a writer or whatever skill, another thing I want you to write down now is, I want you to go to this website on your phone, because I want to believe that some of you, I hope some of you, or if you can access internet, or if you have a phone, you should browse this thing. Let me check. Cryptojobslist.com. Cryptojobslist, that's cryptojobslist.com. cryptojobslist.com. If you go to cryptojobslist.com, that's one of the biggest crypto job websites out there. One question that people usually ask, now these days we have so many websites where you can go and apply for jobs online. And people ask me, why can't I just apply for jobs there and get them? I said, why can't you not? Go and try. In a place where there are so many influx of traffic, so people apply for the same jobs you're going for. What are the chances that you're going to get it? Which is one of the things we're going to learn from this class. How can you get a crypto job even without applying on this website? Or if you apply on this website, how would you still get a job? So we're still going to address it. But this is a website where you will see a list of so many jobs. Like, it's updated regularly. Like this, like the largest website. There are other websites like crypto.jobs. We have web3.career and all of them. They're like several other websites. But what I want you to do on this website now is, you've written down what you like to do. I want you to pick 3 job roles. Go to that website, you will see a list of jobs. like on the website now. I'm on the website now, and I'm seeing plenty jobs that were posted in the past weeks. So I want you to go there and look for jobs. I also want you to go to web3.career. That's web3.career. Web3.career. I wish you can see my screen. I would have been showing you these things, but it's fine. Web3.career. Now, there's another website. The reason I'm sending to web3.career is that on what I said about the era we are in, we're in the era of Web3. So this website now has what we call a list of available Web3 jobs, from content writing to the list, all of them. Tomorrow, Jennifer is going to teach you what you need to know about content writing in the crypto space, what you need to know about community management in the crypto space. Jennifer will teach you about that and handle your questions afterwards. Both of us handle your questions that you have afterwards. And tomorrow I'll teach you how to get the jobs. But today I'm just showing you what's obtainable. And it's categorized. So I'm going to go on the what is that non-tech category? Okay, I'm going to go on the entry level. The demand for tech people is increasing, really. But then it's fine. Okay. All right, so I'm now where I want to be. So now, 14 hours ago on this website, they posted a job for a graphic designer. And they posted a job for graphic designer, and they pointed out what they want from the graphic designer. Now, what you should note is that I've been trying to say since is that you need to be very proficient in what you're doing. And how do you do that? You start by applying yourself to that skill. You go to this website now, you pick 3 job roles that you would like to learn about. Are you guys still with me? If you're still with me, wave your hands to the Lord. If you're still okay, go to this website, pick 3 job roles. If you go to the website, this web3.career, you will see that the job roles are categorized. If you go below the website, you will see remote Web3 jobs, remote non-tech Web3 jobs, and all of that. So under remote non-tech Web3 jobs, you will see roles for community manager roles, copywriting roles, entry-level roles, and all. Click on any of them and pick 3 job roles. Read about them. And that's part of your assignments that you would like to learn and you would like to get better in. If all this is I've been saying since sounds very confusing, please raise up your hand. If they're sounding very confusing, I really understand. Okay. If you don't understand anything I've been saying for the past 30 minutes, raise up your hand. If you don't understand anything, what?
The website to get into like from that part where you mentioned, get into cryptolist.com. Like from that website down, we lost that.
Okay, fine. I'll backtrack a bit. All right, but before I got to that website part, is there anything confusing at all? Do you have any confusing moments? because some of the facial expressions are looking so blank. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's not something you get in a day. The point of this class is just to expose you to it, that it is possible. It's very possible. Do you get? It's very possible. I've literally worked with different kinds of interest, level of interest, and then we got to where we are getting results. So if you are still with me, raise up your hand. You're still with me, raise up your hand. Okay. If you are still interested in learning how to get crypto jobs that will give you money, raise up your hand. Okay. I want to ask you a question. I think I actually want to hear this. Maybe give them a microphone to say it. What's your financial target for 2022? No, I want you to be realistic about it. Actually. Like, the first question is, what amount of money that somebody can send to you now to shock you and you will faint?
$1 million plus.
How much?
$1 million plus.
$1 million naira.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's okay. Someone else? $1 million plus. $1 million plus. Did you say $1 million? Did you say $1 million plus? Okay. Okay, the third person. How much? How much? Okay, I think I've lost her. How much is it? Please, Mr. Manuel, please, I didn't hear what she said.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't hear what she said. The last girl.
5.5 million.
5.5 million. Okay. All right.
5.5 million.
Okay, now. Okay, fine. Fine. That's okay. That's okay. You know that amount of money is very possible. I'm not joking. I'm really not joking. Like, I'm not joking, literally. See, yeah. Today, the what we call, I think I'm going to touch a bit about finances a bit. The what we call more like a benchmark, hitting a financial roof. Usually, the amount of money that we can make is very limited. Sorry, it's very limited to our mind, actually. And this is not motivational speaking stuff. Before I start taking the motivational speaking, it's not motivational speaking. The amount of money you can actually achieve is very dependent to the amount of money you can see yourself having. It's one thing to say, oh, $1 million naira is a lot of big deal for me. But it's another thing to actually see that it's possible that you can actually hit that goal. And then when I start telling people that this is possible, the day you earn your first 100,000 naira as a salary, or you receive it as a gift, or somehow you make it, or you make 200K, 500K, that day it ceases to be your highest amount of money. It becomes least you can actually achieve, because somehow you look at it that, oh, wow, I've touched this amount of money. Then it becomes the next level. It becomes sometimes higher. What I'm meant to say is that your financial goals and targets are actually obtainable and possible. But you have to start with knowing how to achieve how I put it now. If you're earning like 5K now, the next level you should look at now is, how can I make 10K? How can I now make 20K? How can I make 30K? How can I make 100K? That way you keep on building and building till you hit the 500K, hit the 1 million, which is very possible. Now, let me show you how you can easily achieve that. Let me use 1 million naira, for example. This is like in gross, without, by the time you spend, make all your expenses and everything put together. If you get a writing job that pays you $300, $300 is about 100, I think it's 171,000 or so. Let me just use 170K, for example. You get a writing job that pays you 170K. If you do that job for 10 months, that's 170K multiplied by 10 places. That's how much, that's 1.7 million naira, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you with me? Are you with me?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
does that look like something that is possible? Because it's very possible to be paid $300 a month. And you will do that job for 10 months. Now, I'm not saying even a year itself. You do it for 10 months. That 10 months, with everything put together, definitely you will spend out of it. But let's just say you were storing the money somewhere. Do that job for 10 months. It will give that's 1.7 million naira. So your target of 1 million naira is possible as a content writer. So I'm just trying to show you that you need to be like, create a picture in your head that your money goals, this is one way to achieve your money goals, getting a crypto job. And it's not by magic. It's not by magic. You need to start learning what it takes to actually do it. Like, okay, I like to write. How do I start writing in a way that will actually help me get this job? Because you don't need any the only experience you need is to get better at the skill you are doing. And how do you get better at the skill you like to do or you want to learn? Is by doing it more often. It's by doing it more often, which is why, as a content writer, for example, you need to write a lot of content. Let me tell you something. Let me just deep dive into what I want to talk tomorrow. One of the first things that they will ask you, if you apply for a job role and you happen to get an opportunity for the person that wants to employ you to chat with you, because these people are not, they don't have two heads. They can chat with you with, your time it can even be a Telegram chat or a WhatsApp chat. One of the places I worked for over a year, there's this crypto media I worked for over a year. It was WhatsApp chat. I never saw them for one day. I didn't even know what they looked like for the whole entire time that I worked for them. I said I'm not doing it again and I resigned. I never saw them. It was a WhatsApp chat. Hello, can you write for us? Okay, yes. Okay, see what it is. Okay, try out something. I tried it out. All right. When are you starting? I start tomorrow. Fine. That was it. We agreed on the pay. So, but then you have to be able to do what is required of you. And what's about content writing is, if you don't write, the ability just easily leaves you. It's like as if you are stuck. So the first thing first is to build a lot of samples around you. Write a lot. Look for topics, start writing about them. Any skill that you want, ask questions. Where can I start doing this? I can learn by practice. Now, I'm not even advising, I'm not a fan of, in this crypto space, it's not really about what you know. It's about the result you bring. That is why this is a place whereby you are paid based on what your results, not even based on your number of hours you are working. So your results is what matters. If you're a writer, if whatever it is that you're doing, you want to learn, what I'm encouraging you now is to actually develop that interest. If you don't have the interest, imagine the amount of money, the minimum amount you can earn, multiply by a year, what you can earn. Let that be a motivation that this is actually possible. People are doing it. People have moved from where you are now to being very knowledgeable about it, and they are actually doing well. So you can actually do it. It's very possible. So that being said, so that assignment is write what you know how to do. Go to that website, pick out 3 skills you are interested in. How would you know that it's something that you like? they usually write the role and write the expectations under the role. So look at the expectations of that role and see if it is something you can learn to do. If it is non-tech, if it's under non-tech, I can guide you through it. The only part that I used to run away from is tech parts. I'm not a tech person. It's not like I'm not a tech person, but I'm not interested. I don't want to do tech. So, but if it is non-tech jobs, it's fine. If you ask your questions, I'll show you what to do. So the thing here is go to that website, pick those 3 jobs, read their roles and responsibilities, what's expected of them, see if it's something that you can learn to do. And then we'll now enter the next phase. How do you now prepare yourself to be qualified? Remember, you don't need experience, you don't have worked for anybody to actually qualify for those jobs. You just need to know the details. How do you, you just need to have the basics. For a writer, you need to know how to write content around Web3, gaming, Metaverse, all those things. For a graphic designer, you need to have some samples of designs that you've done around this stuff. For a community manager, you need to know what it means to grow a community from 1 to 100. For a moderator, you need to know how to make sure that a group is in order, because these things are practical stuff. Have you ever joined a group and you see that a group is so disorderly? Nobody is there to monitor spam, monitor people that are, being unruly in the group. Now, it's the role of the community manager or community moderator to make sure that the rules of the group are maintained. So if you look at the details of these job roles, they're not necessarily hard. You just need to know how to apply them to get the result that the company is looking for. And then sometimes these job roles differ a bit based on the company. A particular company might need a community manager that will oversee moderators and make sure everything is in order. While for another company, a community manager role will involve the person actually doing the management. For some roles, social media management means just managing the social media handles. For another company, they might need you to go the extra mile and also manage community for them. Now, all this involves in what can you do? Does that make a lot of sense? Is it making sense to you? Now, there's something you need to pay attention to now. No matter the skill you're looking out for, content, writing. I've seen people that say, I don't like to write. But like I said, you can learn anything if you want to. And if it's very important to you, especially if it's directly proportional to the amount of money you make, you have to learn it. Writing is one thing that is embedded in literally every non-tech skill. Whether you're a community manager, you have to write somehow. Whether you are a social media manager, somehow there's writing in what you're doing. Whether you are a graphic designer, of course, you might have to you have to work with the content writers and so that you know the actual content, how to arrange it. But somehow, these non-tech skills or jobs have something to do with content writing. So you will need to recognize what kind of content actually sells, like what kind of content actually fits in whatever scenario and whatever situation. Jennifer we have managed that tomorrow. She will teach you about writing on Twitter, writing on all those handles. She'll show you all of those things tomorrow because you need them. But I want you to understand these things are very possible. They are very doable. Really, really very doable. Really very doable. And what else now? I'm going to give room for questions. I've been saying a lot of things. I'm going to give room for questions in a bit. So all right. Let me just stop here. If you have any question, just ask. I think I'll use the questions to expand more. But if I ask the question, I want to find out if you learned anything at all. Not just let it have the same sense. What did you learn so far so good?
All right. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening there.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us. We really appreciate it. Okay, first far, I'm actually linked that crypto job is actually that way of making money. and one of it is Bitcoin. Not just about 18,000 of it, and Bitcoin is like very prominent. And with that, actually also learned that
Okay, I can't hear you. I stopped hearing at some point.
Bitcoin have about
Okay. All right, I didn't really hear most of the things you said. Maybe Mr. Emmanuel will give me a summary. Yes, but I didn't really hear. She mentioned about learning about Bitcoin and crypto job, but I didn't really get everything she said.
All right, ma'am. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, like I said that we actually learned about cryptocurrency. For me, actually learned about cryptocurrency and how to go on their website to get jobs which you can do comfortably. It's what you can. So that has actually been to help us because we go ahead to the assignment and Google about what you can actually do.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
That's super. I learned that cryptocurrency is a good way to make money. They going to make money, like looking for the jobs to apply for and all of that. We should think of delivering value. And then delivering value, we should develop ourselves, read, research, so that we'll be able to deliver value.
Okay, that's cool. That's great. Okay, one more person.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Yeah, I know that community what
Speaking a bit.
Okay, ma'am. I say that I learned that the community what is cryptocurrency is value.
Okay.
Yeah, and we also taught us that before we go into this cryptocurrency, we should be basis and also the era where it is now. And some of the errors that I mentioned play and Web3 accounts. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, yeah, okay. All right, I'm open to your questions. I can use that to address a bit. Okay.
Okay, before now, like I already know about this stuff.
Okay.
I think it's not just knowing about it. How we get connections with companies that like actually employ us to give you jobs.
Just make sure you're in tomorrow's class. Make sure you're in tomorrow's class. I will explain tomorrow. Today was just basically to introduce it. Tomorrow I'll teach you how to get the jobs, unless you have more time today. But I wanted Jennifer to teach some of those skills before I tell you how to use them to get the jobs and how to actually apply them and get the job. Does that make any sense to you? Is that okay? So tomorrow morning after Jennifer's session, I'll then tell you what to do. If you're on this website, what you can do and all of that, how to prepare yourself. That's just the things that you need to do. If you need a resume, how to prepare your resume, your CV. There's what I call the perfect introduction. Everybody that knows me talking about crypto job, that know me, like they know I always emphasize on perfect introduction. And do you know why I call it perfect introduction? Do you know why I call it perfect introduction? Because I had this experience in 2018 after I finished my NYSC, and I learned during my NYSC, just before I finished my NYSC, I learned that how you introduce yourself to people really, really matter in leaving a lasting impression. Especially what they call elevator pitch. Now, why do they call it elevator? This is very important. Why do they call it elevator pitch? Sometimes you never get second opportunity to make a good first impression. So which is why one of the things I'm going to show you tomorrow, I think I'm going to tell Jennifer to show you a sample. Everybody, if you know me, I always tell you to keep ready what I call perfect introduction. That is like a summary of what you can do and what you can offer, what you know, what you can do, what you can offer. So now, and why it's called elevator pitches? If you're in an elevator, you have basically how many seconds? Take, for example, now, the governor is coming to your state. The governor is coming to, let's say, let me just say this governor. The president is coming to Ebonyi State now, for example, and you were assigned to be a project manager. And you prepared all your magnificent slide, PowerPoints, you dress so smartly, you ironed your shirt and your suit at night, very sharp. Well, the edge can even wound somebody. Only for you to come to the next day, we are supposed to present your slide and everything. You now saw, as you're entering the elevator, you now saw the president. No, as you came up to a particular level, I saw the president leaving. You're like, oh, what happened? What happened? And I said that he has an urgent meeting I need to get back to. Now, your company needs that project. You're supposed to present. It's supposed to be worth a lot of money. And you have. So what are you going to do now? Are you going to allow the president to go back to where he's coming from? We don't even know next time you come to that point that you people see him physically. So you have between the time you are in the same elevator with him, so you get down to that ground floor to pitch your idea. Meaning you have 1 minute or 2 minutes to say. So you need to be able to introduce that thing, catch his attention to be able to book a time, a session. We're not saying you're going to tell him everything about the project. No. What can you tell him that hook his attention to tell him, okay, all right, wow, interesting, amazing. All right, he will not tell his assistants or his PA to book you for a session, maybe a virtual session this time around. But what can you say to help you people book an opportunity to be heard? Which is why I always encourage everybody. Don't just say, if you meet anybody, like if you go for any meeting, go for any place that you need to network, don't just introduce yourself as, my name is Abigail. I'm using Abigail as an example. Always add what you can do behind. Now, for example, can you write? Can you design? Whatever, you never look down on anything. Or if you think there's nothing attached to your name yet, pick one and start learning about it. The first time I got my certification in this thing, digital marketing for Google. I attach it everywhere. I'll just tell you I'm Google certified in digital skills. If you like, don't like it. But somehow you always give me the opportunity to be listened to. I'm like, oh wow, really? What else can you do? But if I just said my name ends, the person will just move on to the next person. Of course, nothing really happened. Because sometimes the only opportunity you have to, because this is what I tell my community to always do these things. The person you are talking to that minute might not have the capacity to pay you or employ you, but they might know somebody who actually has the capacity. I know so many jobs I've done via referral. And it's because of that whole, the first time you meet somebody, you're asked, oh, my name is, what is your name? You say your name and you put 2 lines, what you can call your perfect introduction, because it's very super important. Sometimes you might not go via the website to apply, but what might get you that job actually was the fact that you said you were a specific content writer, or you're a content writer and you specify on blockchain, or however you put it, will just grab the person's interest. The others I'm going to point about maybe online profiles, all of that tomorrow, but don't just stop at introducing your name. Start saying what you do, whatever it is, no matter how insignificant you think it is. It will shock you how the person you're talking to might have been looking for somebody who will do that particular thing, especially online. I usually tell people, don't misuse the opportunity you have online. Whenever you're online chatting with people, let people know what you do. Somehow keep it into the conversation, because the person might refer somebody to you. Even right now, Seth, it was someone I taught in 2019 that referred one of my clients today. And I was, wow, amazing. So that's one of the things that you're reading in this crypto space. If you don't have a resume, you must have a perfect introduction. That's how I titled it, Perfect Introduction. It contains an elaborate way of explaining yourself, of describing yourself. My name is Abigail. I am a content writer. I specify in writing crypto content or content around Web3, NFTs, DAO, and all of that. I have experience creating, by the time you're done writing those things, you keep it ready in your phone. As soon as you have an opportunity, you're chatting with somebody, you just go and copy it, adjust it small, and send it to the person. So that will be also one of your assignments, maybe for tomorrow, or for tomorrow, by the time people have seen a sample from Jennifer too. So is that understandable? Any other question before I drag? Any other question? No more questions? No, now, it's not possible. Mr. Emmanuel, you have a question? No?
Okay, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
My question is like this. So what if you were trying to apply for a job and then you don't actually have any of those things? Like as you were saying now, you're like, you should have a resume, something like that, and have something ready. So what if you don't actually have any skill at all that you can, like you're not a content writer, you're not. So how do you go about writing that kind of thing?
Okay. People want me to touch tomorrow's class. People want me to touch tomorrow's class. Okay, see. All right, let me touch it a bit. Do I still have time, Mr. Manuel? Do I still have time? No. I still have time. So let me know if I'm diving into the question.
About 10 minutes.
Sorry?
10 minutes.
Just 10 minutes. Okay, fine. All right, see, there's a process to these things, you get. You don't just like dive into it. Now, you know that if you have a skill, you can brush up your skill to actually encompass these areas in crypto, the Web3 and all of those sectors I mentioned. But then if you don't have a skill, you can learn something. And before you apply for a job, the first thing you should do, that was why I gave that assignment, write out what you can do. Secondly, go to that website, pick 3 things you think you can learn. After you've learned these things, after you've done this assignment now, we now pick your most dominant skill. If it's content writing you want to focus on, how do you now prepare yourself to start applying for the job? Because you can't just dive in and start applying for the job. Me, I don't even like people that say, give me any job. Nobody will employ you because you want any job, really. People want to employ someone that will give them value. So you have to be able to give value to be paid. So after you've seen what you can actually get better at or you can learn, the next thing is building yourself, which is the part of where we now get you to start. If you're going to be a content writer in the crypto space to get paid, when I start getting to the point of writing at least 3 good content you can present as your sample. How do you now write? How do you get those experiences for your resume? There are 2 things, there are 2 ways to get experience in this crypto space and still get paid while doing it. That is as an intern and as an ambassador. Why? As an intern and an ambassador, there are no expectations whatsoever based on level of experience or based on your skill level. Because they're seeing you're an intern, you're coming to learn why you help them achieve their goals. As an ambassador, they're trying to preach about what they are doing to your immediate community in order to get paid or paid incentives. Now, these 2 levels, you don't need any, the pay might not be much. It could be just $100. But by the time you do it for 2 months, you've gained enough experience that by the 3rd month, you can start applying for your normal job regular. So in your CV, because now as an ambassador, you'll be exposed to community management, you'll be exposed to content writing, you'll be exposed to all manner of crypto jobs as an ambassador, which is an easiest way for someone that doesn't have any experience or very little experience in the crypto space. The easiest way to dive in is to look for intern and ambassador jobs. That's the truth. Even on this website now, you see plenty of them. You see intern jobs, you see ambassadorship jobs and job roles. If you go to, as a content writer, or I've been seeing a lot of content writer, as a community manager, graphic design, whatever skill it is, enter as an intern, look for internship roles, look for ambassadorship roles. Those are way easier ways to get the experience you're looking for. But then you can also still go right ahead to get your experience as a writer, get your first job. How? Create samples, write content, pick 3 topics, write on them and get them vetted. Like if you want me to do that, fine, you can send it to the email or Jennifer. Vet it. You can write a content, 500 word, 1,000 word content, and get the corrections you need. 3 samples is enough. You don't even need that. You don't even need the resume. I'm telling you, with the method I will teach you tomorrow, you might not even need the resume to get your first job. Sorry, yeah, resume. Because when you're using a resume, it means you're applying via a website. You might not need even to apply via the website. If you're chatting with them one-on-one, some of them might not ask for a CV or a resume. They will not ask you, if it's a writing job role, they will ask you, can I see what you've written before? the conversation I had with the lady, she found me on LinkedIn just a few days ago. Like, oh, hi, have you written anything on gaming before? I'm like, no. She said Metaverse. I was like, oh, I didn't mention Metaverse. Add Metaverse to the list of things that you need to be interested in. And I was like, yeah, something close to it. We're like, okay, send it. I sent the sample to her. And then a few days later, she chatted me up. I was like, okay, I will need to write, how much do you charge for per content? I just smelled amazing opportunity. So some days later again, she then came and said, okay, fine, I would like, we are going to start a series or something, and I want you to write the content for us. So we'll start with one. So she gave me a topic and I've already written, I've already submitted it. So what I'm saying is this, there was no any need for me sending my resume. They only ask for a sample of what I've written before in that area. So it's a two-way thing. You can build a resume. You don't need, there's a place of plenty experience, but you get it by doing. There's a place you can start. So what I'm trying to say is, nothing should scare you. There's a place you can start to start earning, even without a resume, even without an experience. So first, if you're a graphic designer, you start paying attention. How do I make designs? You can even become an NFT artist. NFT artist is another career line for designers, graphic designers. Make designs around NFTs. Have a portfolio. I start looking out for NFT companies and apply for those jobs, and then you get it. Most definitely. And if, like I always tell people, what I teach you always works. If it didn't work, then there's something in how you have been doing it that has not been, that is not, they need to be shaped to suit your peculiar situation, but somehow it has to work. Do you understand? So I won't say more than this till tomorrow. Hope I've not left you more confused than you were when you started for this class. Okay. Good evening, sir. Not really clearly.
Okay, thank you. Don't worry. After we'll have our own personality.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. I got you. Jenny was not able to go, but then I think she should be here tomorrow. Without it tomorrow. Right. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry
No, it's fine. It's fine, sir.
Okay, amen. How many of us in this? Did you learn something?
The meeting is stopped. Okay, this is us. How are you doing?
Mr. Emmanuel of Ojere.
Yes.
So you're already away. Hope I don't hear you. Serious. Now, is it Jack they used to on the line? I said they don't use Jack on the line. Everything is starting with this country. If we easily start online. You know, it be like,
I'm giving you a basic. Anyway, I'm just keep my. See, let me use your welcome. We never. It was 500,000 naira. We got a house of 500,000. It has no God literally what it is. According to someone that what they're taking the house. That is fine. So, because we have prayed. That's all. I'm not so into 500 people right now. But he made this thing. So when we rushed that, house, for this thing. That's something. He has to show that I can see us market. Inside market is like here. Look at fence. They come climb this one. I just know you know. So our money gets increased. We wanted to pay the house. It was 950. But the thing is that we never thought we never. I'm telling you, what happened to us before we bought this house? We went to MEXC. I'm just saying that we need what you mentioned renewal. Smart but take this to be. Express yourself. That's like this is it. Whatever amount I'm just telling you that you will not get stuck. Jeez. I'm just saying you don't always said this. Money is literally money is the easiest thing to do. It's funny how it's not. Whoever said that now, but that is considered. Money goes to people that have. Now let's just see. Let's choose. What's important? Any amount. It doesn't have to be. stay here. The reason I actually have this
I cannot stay here. It's for 1 month. I don't like the way you are changing.
I'm just saying I'm not just you can stay about the thing is that I listen to God and do this, and only respond. Now, so tomorrow. Okay, so that is so
I'm telling you.
I really don't want one is even me, I don't know. No matter how it is, if you want anything the house and there, but don't see like it's not a bad thing. Oh, and usually you are there. So you just have it in mind.
Yes, sir, my former house. I think I just see. I forgot what we are saying, but I found out my former house.
Of course, you can't say it's very bad. I'll go down and we said we are victim of people. Because it's true, we didn't expect it. Now when people are you wonder, yeah, because we are 200 and something thousand. We saw the product. Because she was something for the product. Other people like yes, that was what people in mind. Because the thing is, even me coming here, what of course, I don't really know why that's because my business was it makes sense. The only reason I went with it is that I have to was he said you guys should make it. So and that is where I am now. My business till now, I really don't really have any idea. But I've made more money in my business here than being where I was. I'm telling you, I've made crazy money. I don't get my money. I should treat my customers. So we manage to treat them right. I bill them, I stay back, call me back. So all I'm trying to say is that everybody so I'm making you have around that. I don't like that. The one around is our area. Say? Or you can tell me what you want to check. one around that one. 350, 400. Any other area we have. So just choose the of course the thing is out. Yes. That's my problem. That's why I don't follow you. I stop following you. It's backwards. That's why I follow you. Up on 2 periods. I already knew how to starting from big already. Because I knew it was because the landlord because he died as well. Already sold the place.
The wife is rude and wicked, but it's your dad. You would have removed my water. It's not just like that. There's no need to
You have water supply, you know.
one woman upstairs. Woman that was back that time. It was just like one of what's the woman? She has left.
Like if you move the water, you have. It's wicked. At the end of the day, there's balloon and the Because before, it is that the investment, yeah, you won't have all that. That's why it's better. Let's keep the opportunities carried out. Yeah, the app. Yeah. For the app. That's it. I was in it. Because I did not make